and the color and the synergy both together. That's my favorite. You know, if I had a choice, that's the only way I would do it. But sometimes time is your master, you know. And I suggest you work with very thin sections so you can see through it and make it easier for yourself before you go into the heavy stuff, you know.
Guide that you use, or is it just based on
the hair below?
Yeah, you use the hair below as a guide, but you got to use your fingers and your touch too. It's got a lot to do with your fingers and your touch as you start going into the hair and start texturing it.
like where it's both?
Yeah, because there's no way you can follow that guide going.
Right.
The only thing you got to remember is how far you pull it out to and where you start hitting with your scissor.
Okay.
That's the main thing. And then everything else is your line.
You can look at that left side actually and you see where it starts to flip. That's because the other thing is that interior weight out so that it curves under again. Right. It's very visual.
Yeah, it'll be visual and you're going to feel it too, you know. What this is going to do is going to heighten your sensory to the balance of your fingertips. And once you start working this way, because lots of times you'll see me do this to the hair, and I'll put my hands through it, and I see how the hair feels, how it starts to move. You know, as you do it more and you practice it more, those sensory perceptions are going to increase. Okay. Where before you relied more on your guideline and your how it looked. This will bring you into more of a feel.
And are you just pulling it all out directly from where it lives? It's not, you're not over directing.
Yeah, I'm not over directing right now.
Okay.
I'm not over directing right now. We'll do some of that in a few minutes as we get to certain areas of it, you know. This kind of cutting is going to give you a very diffused look to the hair, okay? Or more of a diffused look to the hair, I should say. Is everybody somewhat clear about what I was talking about with lifting the hair and chipping it? Yeah?
So like where you want more volume, you would go higher up on the
Yeah, well actually, let's say I wanted that hair to come out more, what I would do is I would start going in a little bit deeper in there, you know, to get those hairs to push them out. Right. I'm not going to do any undercutting. In other words, I'm not going to make this really short and then wrist long over top like what Judith has. I'm going to keep it in as much as symmetric and even as possible, and then use the texturing as an interior push. Okay?
So then
What's about an average length of time that it takes to do one of these first earlier? For like the first time a client is getting their haircut this way.
Try not to go beyond an hour. Try to stay within the hour because you don't want it to sit too long.
Right.
Right? It's got to do with their comfort, you know.
Where she couldn't go.
And then their following haircut would probably go a little shorter.
Yeah, because once you've got that shape in there, you know, yeah, then you're just maintaining it, you know. It's like when you do color for the first time, right? You got to spend more time choosing the colors and getting it right and getting all the shades to the right tonality, and then you make a little adjustment next time, you know. Now you see me working with a tail comb, right? Cutting with a tail comb. It's because what I do is it's easier for me to slice it like that, you know. Not that I can't use the other comb, but the tail comb makes it a lot easier for me with this.
And so Janine was driving her to work, so we got up there and we to try to order and standing there, driving, so that would be a deal. Of course, the bus was good.
You could also take the sides, drag them to the center that way. I'm not going to talk about angles too much because that's, since you guys are experienced with working with cutting hair, and yet where you drag the hair has an effect on when you cut, it's going to be left to your experimentation on it. Okay? The most important things is how you cut the hair, how you approach it, what you need to do to the hair to get it ready for you to be able to do that and achieve what you want to achieve. Everything else is going to be practice and experimentation, okay?
If someone has a big whirl or callus,
Yeah.
like right in the middle, you're flat ironing it really good down. How do you compensate for that later? Because when they style their hair, they're probably not going to go in and really get that flat iron down.
You mean like they've got like some kind of twirl happening there?
Or, yeah, or it's a callus that, like I have right here on this side.
Yeah.
So if you're flat ironing that down, it's going to be all even. But how do you then make up for that later? Because like if I go home, I'm not going to get this straight like you did.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
time would you take that into
What controls
consideration?
the cowlick? Length.
Huh?
Length controls the cowlick, right? Can't cut a cowlick too short. Okay. I'm gonna show you another way how to control the cowlick beyond the length. What you have to do is the problem with a cowlick is that it goes in directions opposite to what the hair is really all going in, right? So if the hair's, let's say sometimes you can see hair that grows up. How do you get that hair to reverse and come down? The only way you can do that is with length. Okay. Sometimes a cowlick splits and opens up. How do you stop that cowlick from splitting and show hair in there on hair that's basically almost one length? Is you go in there once you're finished, right? Just in the cowlick, and you take it and you go lightly across it in all directions, very lightly. You're not cutting the hair short. You're just diffusing some of the hair, so when the hair falls, it doesn't fall, it gets diffused to the point where you almost can't see it. Okay? And you don't want to cut them so the hair jumps straight out. Okay? You always got to leave length to that. Okay? The cowlick is a very hard thing to deal with, because sometimes cowlick on very thick, short hair, there's nothing you can do. You just got to cut it short. Cowlick on fine, longer hair, you just want to make it look like it's not there, and that's what you want to do. You want to diffuse some of it going down.
I don't love it because it's
Okay?
small.
Did that help or confuse you more?
Yeah.
That's my biggest.
Jude, you okay?
Yeah.
You don't feel lonely, do you?
Other than that, parking places. Yes, yes. And hopefully it brings another time for a guy. No, I really can't say that. I should love it because I'm all out my second choice.
Oh, it's up there? I ain't doing it. I can go pick it up. Oh, yeah. I've definitely done cutting like this. It's just adding more of the theory to it. And it just kind of... And I think...
You're similar how?
What?
You're similar how?
Visual we are? Visual?
Oh, for sure.
Like, this makes way more sense to me than the
Yeah.
Oh my God,
If I say something that doesn't make any sense,
Oh, no.
I'll clear it up for you, okay?
They still use this.
The head shape matter. It just scares me. Following head shape. So unmeasurable. So technical measuring.
Which?
We took a head shape class.
Yeah.
Where you measure the shape and angles of the head, and you cut at certain angles depending on how you want it to fall.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
basically formulating a haircut, but you can't see how it's happening until it's mostly done, and that is unsettling for me.
All right. Okay.
It was this, like, you measured the plane of the head, and then you measured the fall of the haircut, and then you cut each plane at a certain angle so that it would translate and fall, and it was a zero texturizing type haircut.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's made
Okay.
for like not to texture at
Um,
all.
You know, some people are going to take to that. You know,
Yeah.
it's all a matter of personal preference. I tend to lean more towards the art form with it. Always.
And this is
The technical part of it is great to know. You know, it's really great to know. It's like hair coloring. It's good to know what's in the bottle and exactly what that shit is going to do. Exactly what that stuff is going to do. The other S.
Thank you.
But what really counts is what are you doing with it?
Right.
You know? Are you doing something that's going to like really look great or, yeah. But technically it was perfect. Just doesn't look good on her. I mean, all of that is correct. You know, all of the science behind it is definitely correct. But what's most important are your final results, okay?
I like how you can see what you're creating as you're creating it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm very much into visual aspect. Hair, you know, hair is more visual than anything else. You know, it's like you know, every approach has its merit to it. You know, even what I said about the diva before, I didn't mean to sound derogatory towards it or anything like that. Are you familiar with the We Dad approach? Okay, We Dad is very similar to the diva. We Dad started first. And what they do is they tell you how to cut to the curl, you know, so you can enhance the curl more. But all that does is it creates a lot of little chops here and there.
yeah.
You know, and that's what they, you know. But I'm very much about the synergistic approach of all of it because it's not only the shape, it's what the color does, you know. So I'm really approaching it too from a color aspect of it and how it assimilates to the head, you know.
Is that thing on?
Yeah, it's on. It's just that the mannequin heads they don't respond like regular hair. You know how they make the mannequin hair, right? They take all kinds of hair, right? From all over the world, and they bleach it all up. And then they pick the color, and then they pick from it. Because they don't say, oh, we got brown hair here, we got yellow, you know, this piece. No. It's all different heads from different people that's all been treated to be the same exact color, and then they put it on the head. Why? I tell you, I've colored, I became a master of coloring all kinds of, you know what a shadle is, right? You know what a shadle is?
A what?
Shadles?
Shadle? No.
Okay. It's a religious wig. They cover their heads with the Jewish people, the Orthodox Jews. So, because I was working with a lot of wigs for stage and everything, I became a master of wigs. So they found out about it and they started bringing me these $5,000 wigs to color them, you know? And that job is expensive, you know, you're talking about a $900 color job. $1,000 color job to make it even. So what happens is I go in and I start coloring it, and all of a sudden, this hair is different from this hair. You know, because I'm pulling the color out to make it look a certain way. And that's why it's so much money. You know, so that's when I found out, and I found out that how they treat wigs to get them ready for the, you know, for the people. And all of them are the same. And now the mannequins are the same way too. You know, they pull from a lot of hair. See what's happening to that?
So someone with this cut is gonna have to come back pretty
Often?
often, because this is a lot of texture.
But it's only within a certain part of the head, you know? And it's not, really that's not true, because this hair will grow out. In 8 weeks it'll still have its shape. In 12 weeks it'll still have its shape. It's going to be longer, of course.
It'll just be like.
But it's not that it's going to grow out tomorrow. What?
It'll be stringy, like in 12 weeks.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, some of the hair might be. You know, some of the hair might be as opposed to a blunt cut, you know? But again, it's, what I'm trying to show you is you could do it more blunt and less textured, you know? But that's up to you working on the hair, what you're going to do, okay? Well, my goal today is to get you to cut a strand of hair like this and to understand how to approach the whole head. That's my goal. What you achieve is up to you. Yes?
So are you saying you, with this same technique, you could create something more blunt?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, the texture that I'm doing right now is not what you have to do. You know? I'm only exaggerating a little bit more to show you what you can do. Okay? But this doesn't only lighten up the lines cutting like this.
So this would be a really great technique for somebody who has a ton of hair but really wants to pin it out a lot, right?
Good
Okay.
for that. It's good for that. It's good to work on that kind of. But again, I could take very fine hair, right, and make it look like more hair with this. When you learn how deep to go, right, you'll learn where you need to leave. What does what to the hair? What causes it to jump up more than go down? And that'll bring us to that. Right now, from your exposure to this, right, you're going to gain certain things, right? You're going to say, oh, for me right now, it'll work good for this kind of hair, for that kind of hair, for the other. As you go along and you keep studying how that goes, right? What you're going to wind up doing is applying it to different situations and different clients and different things. What I suggest is when you start doing this kind of thing, right? Get yourself a mannequin and lock yourself in a room. And let your mind just take you to that place where you can really concentrate on the shape, you see the shape and you want to get it. If you do that, I promise you, in a couple of months you'll know, you're going to understand hair cutting like you never did before, okay? Everything, there's enlightenment in all types of knowledge. And the funny thing about knowledge is sometimes it affects what you already know, in a very positive, profound way. I know I found that. Never be closed to anything. Always accept knowledge as of value, no matter where it comes from, okay?
What I would suggest is
Remember what I said about the egg shape to the head? That's what's great, that egg shape. Now what I'm going to do is, after I finish this outside line of the whole thing, I might go in there and texture a little bit more to create a little bit more lift in certain areas, like probably over here. Okay? Are you guys doing a lot of short bangs, like really like those Betsy Johnson bangs and stuff like that? Are you guys doing much of that? Is it sometimes? Okay.
Actually, I did short bangs, like really super short bangs for the first time last week, and they turned out well, but I think that this kind of texturizing technique would have been really helpful.
Okay.
Because she wanted to see a lot more texture and stuff.
Yeah. You gotta use it where it's gonna benefit you, okay?
Yeah.
But like I said, the fundamental things are the hand, right? How you cutting that hair, and how you thinking about shaping it. What your approach is, okay? You okay?
Yeah, sorry.
You thinking? You with me or somewhere else? Come back from the Caribbean. Because if you stay there, I'm going with you.
Yeah, right, I'm sure that there's more things. We can do it. You have to prepare it. No, ma'am. You know, the truth is, it is getting better. I was doing physical therapy, and it was getting worse. So then I, realized that I have more arthritis. So they're gonna go in and scope it, and they got some of the arthritis in it, which it looks like wow. I know, I saw it on a scan, like a sign. They did it here, and I saw my shoulder.
So when you want it to lay more flat, do you put it down
Arthritis looks like hot
cut or?
I'm sorry, say it again?
So if you're wanting it to be less voluminous and more hanging down, do you hold it that way when you gonna cut it? Okay.
Yeah, your elevation is gonna give it the texture, more texture. It's gonna texture either the front side, bottom, or the back side, you know. Okay? But if I elevate this way, and I bring it up, of course, you see what happens is the higher you bring it, see what happens to these here, by the time you drop, but if you texture down here, you're going to do this. Okay? Since this mannequin's got this kind of hair, what I'm going to try to, I want it to come out, almost as if it had an undercut feel to it,
Yeah, this is big. Close enough for these. I don't think so.
The reason why I picked this line, this is one of the harder ones to do. You get it nice and narrow. So if I give you the hardest thing, one of the harder things to do, everything else is going to seem easy. Okay?
And right in here, she'll tell you that, she needs it done, and you might kind of think that she does, but just do it. Because do whatever she feels it, and, and then like,
What? The mannequin is like, I'm really happy.
Deborah is big in it.
Deborah.
She's like looking happy. She looks so miserable when I walked in.
She's almost, she's smiling.
It took years off her life.
Her wrinkles are gone.
I mean, yeah.
Deborah's like in heaven.
She actually looks like.
The question is, can she cook?
I don't want to say a number, I don't want to say a number.
Relaxer is healthy as they are.
I hope your surgery goes.
It's getting old, and I don't think it's reaching the heat that it used to, Like I'm trying to get it to, I gotta search for a new one.
Do you want me to grab you one?
What's that?
Do you want me to grab you a flat iron?
If you got a really super hot one, it'd be great. Sorry, as I get old like me, I don't know.
Never used it over cheap.
Very nice.
Very nice. Louis, can you come and get that shot from the back?
Yeah.
Like our last cutting class was no texture at all, and this one's all texture.
So like the amount of time here where you can't prepare it too much at all. So just be nice to do some work. You made her face for me yesterday. She was so cute. It was so cute. And it just like the cup right around my face, like how it's supposed to. You normally cup that way, but you always have to like slow down.
Wish we could. Yes.
I have a question. It seems to me like when you pull it out, that you're pulling it out, or this, like the little pieces when you pull it out, that it's always straight.
Yeah.
I would have a tendency, my mistake might be is that I might want to try to help shape it.
Yeah.
So go in here, but I've been watching her, it's always straight, is that right? It's always topped?
Well, the reason why I pull it straight is I could get those hairs to fall out, and I easily shape them. Because if I do this to it,
Right.
and then I go try to cut, I'm
Chopping.
losing the ability to cut them the proper length equally, or as equally as possible. You know, you need to put a little
Tension on it?
tension on it, so you can get it to feel right.
And then when they like come back to get it cleaned up and stuff, that's where you can kind of see where you were the last time it
Yeah,
was cleaned up.
exactly. Yeah, you'll be able to see it wherever it is. You know, you're gonna, once they come back, they're gonna, the hairs are gonna grow at those lengths. You're gonna be able to see them still. They're not gonna disappear. Now what I'm gonna do is, now that I got more of my shape, right? I'm gonna do is probably go in a little bit and do a little bit more cleaning to.
You're just not really a big product person.
Yeah, right. Let's try that on and see how it looks. Sorry.
No, you're good.
This is on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely feel a lot of texture. That'll be great.
Yeah, this is great. This iron is great. Wow.
It's that diamond dust.
Whoa. This thing is cooking now. I can tell by the smoke.
I need to do a drop mine.
Is this one of those diamond
Yeah.
plated things?
He's fancy.
The what?
He's fancy. It's my hair item. That's about
Except for that blower. That blower is
Yeah,
like,
that blower is
that
not
blower is
fancy.
it's a booby trap, that thing.
Which one, the Babylon? Yeah, I don't want to go.
It'll get hot for you though.
No, yeah, I can use it as a glue gun.
I get my blow
That
dryer
thing will
done real
melt
quick.
away anything. Fused my subsections together yesterday. I went to dry it. Say, wait a second, what's going on there?
What kind of hairdryer do you like to use?
I like that one. The exit, really nice. It's a pro. It could be rebuilt, and the price is right. It only cost me $75. I remember I was going through the International Hair Show to look for stuff, and whenever you see something really cool looking, they don't really work that great. They just look cool. So then I saw that from a distance. I said, let me go check it out. This probably doesn't even work. And I tried it. It was good. 'Cause what I like is a lot of airflow. I don't like more heat than airflow. Because you dry hair with two things, airflow and heat, right? Now, if your blower delivers more heat than airflow, you're drying it with heat more than you are with, and heating the hair up too much can damage your cuticle, as we saw with the subsections. It melted them together. So I tend to go with more airflow, which is, I find, leaves the hair in better shape. And that one there, I own about 10 of them, you know? I own about 10 of those blowers. So what I do is I take two and I alternate two of them. So they last a lot longer, you know? And then